Hey, Scrapbook friends, welcome to week 77 of Theme Park Thursday. And today we have another kind of mini parade, one of these cavalcades. And I have to admit that when I first got going, I was kind of like, oh, another parade. I feel like all I've done is scrapbook parades, and I was getting a little bit bored with it. And when I started, I kind of just had a bunch of photos stuck on a background page. I didn't have any ideas of what to do to make it be creative, to make it more than just, here's my photo stuck to a piece of paper. But then I got thinking about like the stripes and the design, and I actually really love how this came together. And I think it's a great technique that you could use with any designer paper rather than just use a single piece of designer paper for your background. By cutting it up and stretching it apart, it gives it a completely different look. And so I hope that you will watch and let me know in the comments if you agree that cutting the paper apart was the right thing to do. So here we go. All right, it seems a little bit silly to go ahead and do the Adventure Friends Cavalcade. I feel like we already did I can't remember the name of it. There are 3 different cavalcades that they did at Disney during during COVID. And of course, we were there on the day where they they started the parade back again, but they were still doing the cavalcades. And I took lots of pictures because it's part of the fun of Disney is, these little they're like a little mini parade that goes through, and that was really fun. Took a lot of pictures. And I feel like last week's layout where we did the castle show had a lot of pictures. Week before that was Festival of Fantasy, which did a lot of pictures. And so I'm feeling a little not super excited about that. But I've got some little small people. Like that one I'm not putting in. She's not looking at me. Tiny Moana. I'm sorry, that does not look like Mulan. I don't know who that is. Do I care even? Oh, Judy Hopps. I like Judy Hopps. Do I care about having the thing? Well, at least here's a picture of us. There's Katie and I sitting on a bench. Way to go, us sitting on a bench. And then you're going to see Michelle on the other side of the street. So I did get some decent pictures of the cavalcade. What comes next? Oh. Next is going to be Big Thunder Mountain. Yeah, that might need to be a double page. I was thinking I could make this a single page, but I think it's going to have to be a double page. Didn't I have him in the parade? Festival of Fantasy? Drat. I think I might have messed this up. Oh, there's what's his name? Claire Bell. Oh, which one of those do I use? Oh, that's too bad. Oh, Marie. Oh, no, that's Marie. Stitch. Max. We love Max. Jasmine. There's Michelle on the other side of the street from us. Who do we want? It's an awkward hand position there for Mr. Incredible. Woody, too close. That's a good one. Oh yeah, Moana, good. Baloo. Some of these are Michelle, some of them are me. Unfortunately, I think that I got better pictures because they came right up next to me. These are the ones she took. So this is her picture of Jasmine, and this is the one I got of Jasmine. So sorry, Michelle. That was a nice try, but she did get a different view of the people than I got. Okay, I've gone through all of these. So I think I'd be happy with just these few pictures, she says, as I narrowed it down from, 50 to 20. It's not 20. Maybe it's 20. Okay, it's probably 20. Maybe I won't do that one. But I think I would like to do this. I like this one because we're in it. And I probably need to find one that Michelle is in. She's over there. I mean, goodness, I could do just a whole couple of rows just of these characters. That's the one we're going to use. What's his name? I know it's Judy Hopps, and I don't know what the other person's name is. I had Miguel somewhere else. It's a good picture of him, though. Judy Hopps. Us sitting on the bench. Little one. Not little one. All right, so then I narrowed it down again some more. And I'm thinking maybe that's what I do, is I just do, I trim these and just do one like across. I might have to do more than one row, but I want to put us up here at the top and the Adventure Friends, and then maybe put Michelle at the top over here, and then just do 2 rows of, I mean, some of these are going to be, need to be the full height, which is 5 1/4. So that's 10. I mean, 10 1/2. Most of these I can trim down a little bit. But what, oh, got lots of pictures on here. I like this one of Miguel better than whatever other one I had. What do I want to put this on? What background paper do I want to use for the parade? You know, we started kind of this series with Sweet Summer, and the colors feel like these colors go with Sweet Summer, but I don't have a whole lot of paper left, so that really limits me in what I can do. I don't want to use the ones that say summer. I don't want to use the ones that are water. I don't mind this one with the starfish, except it's not really, yeah, I mean, that's basically what I got left. The starfish, the water, my beloved little pink suns, and the starfish. So I think no go on Sweet Summer, which is a shame because the colors were perfect. I was talking actually to Megan Jacks recently about summer collections, and I told her that Sweet Summer is my favorite summer collection we've ever had, and she said it was her least favorite because she didn't like it because of the pinks and purples, and I liked it because of the pinks and purples. So, you know, Summer Break is more primary colors. That's our current collection. And actually, this is one of the papers from Summer Break. This maybe could work. It doesn't really have the pink in it, but it definitely has these colors from, you know, these different characters. I don't know if they're all going to fit. Let me trim them down and then see if I can even make this work just on some papers. I feel like last week's layout was very simple, and this week's layout probably needs to be simple just because I've got so many pictures I want to cram on there. All right, so here's my trimmer. But if I can cut all of these guys down to like 2 inches or less, oh, maybe I do something, I think I've already done this, where I have like a center line, and then people like sit on top and bottom of that. I don't know. I mean, I could, because like some of these I can trim smaller and some of them they could be taller. That one, he needs to be the whole thing, but I think he's the only one that really, oh, well, Pocahontas pretty much takes up the whole space. I don't even remember who this character's name is. It's not Nala. That's from The Lion King. All right, let me cut these. All right, I've trimmed all these down. I'm not really happy that this is the only picture where I have Michelle across the way from us in the parade, because I have this picture of Mrs. Incredible, but I think I put this one in because she's in there, but I can't, I mean, I guess I could trim her. I mean, her arm is already cut off, so I guess I could trim these people off right there. And make her a little skinnier so that we can see Michelle right there. I'm a little mad at myself because I have a couple of these where she got us, and I think that's fun. So let's see here. This may not be what I want to do. Maybe I want to do it like that and do the you know, do something along the middle, some kind of a border or something. I definitely don't want the watermelons. I think I want the dark on the inside. What do you think? I guess we could cut it and do the dark on the inside and the light, kind of do it this way. It's like a half and half. I don't know. I don't think I like that either. And I don't know that I'm going to stick with this paper. I just was, when I was putting the summer away, I thought this could be fun. So some of these I can cut down. I want to put the Adventure Friends Cavalcade at the top. And maybe this picture of us right here. I want Michelle to be over there. I have these littles that I can add. Yeah, too many pictures. And, you know, again, it's the same thing with the parade and stuff that it doesn't have to be, I guess I could cut that person off in the scooter and just put Michelle right there. It doesn't have to be, like I don't have to save all these photos. They're not the actual people. They are just Disney characters. Although we think of them as real. That's the one that we can see us in with Max. I don't know about this. I'm not feeling very, very enthused about. I feel like this is all I've been doing lately is scrapbooking these parades. And I guess even for me, that becomes a little boring. I am liking the kind of the ombre look though. Yellow, orange, red, pink. Not pink. I don't want to, it just feels a lot like what I've already done. So maybe I need to go top and bottom. I actually don't really like stitch at all. Maybe a little shorter. Put these, I can't put that in the middle because she's too tall. Maybe I put this like on a square of something and then collage in some of these other characters. I don't know where Judy Hopps went. Oh, she's right there. So maybe I just do a very kind of a simple shortcutty layout on this one. I'm definitely going to trim that down. Okay, so I think if I do that, if I cut these down, this layout's feeling boring. And I think it's probably because I'm a little bit bored with scrapbooking basically another parade. And so maybe I need to give it more of a theme. Maybe that would make me less bored. I feel like there's supposed to be a Woody somewhere, but I don't know where I put him. But I do love getting a lot of pictures on one layout. So that's kind of a challenge, right? That we want to put a lot of pictures on here, but they're boring. cut her little belly off, not belly, cut her off at the hips. I think I need something else though, a color here, and maybe I don't want this this ombre paper because it's feeling boring. That's what it's feeling. I cut this little guy's head right off of the top of Jasmine. Like his eyes are poking out of her head. You know, I used to be really good at remembering trivial little details like the name of this fox, or like last week when I couldn't remember the name for the life of me of that alligator. You know, packs of Creative Memories paper. I used to be really good at identifying them by looking at the paper pack. And lately I feel like I'm just not as good as I used to be at those things. And I don't know why that is. Age, lack of attention, fatigue. I don't know. We're going to cut these people off right here. So Michelle can be up there in that corner. We're going to be down here in this corner. This is a 1 3/4, but I can't go to 1 3/4. We'll have to go 1 3/4 by 2. I mean, I feel like I do a lot of collage pages because they're easy to do. Definitely want Max. Max is a family favorite. We love, well, my kids especially love A Goofy Movie. And of course, Max is the star of A Goofy Movie. It's like, it's become like a challenge to me now, though, to see if I can fit all these pictures in that I wanted to fit in. There's got to be a way. All right, I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. But I really am positive that I had a little picture of Woody, and I think I cut it so small that it got lost in one of these little piles. Let me see if I can find him. Oh, there's a little picture of me. All right, there's Woody right here. He could go up here by Jessie. That could be a little tiny picture of me with my phone camera. Would be fun to put on there. I feel like I've done a collage page before, haven't I? Where I like did a collage and then I filled in the spaces with other pictures or other pieces of paper, but I don't want to do that this time. I'm going to cut that off a little. It's hard to cut very small pictures with this photo trimmer because of this protective thing, but you definitely want to use a protective thing. I don't want you to be the next text I get saying, I cut myself. It's just like, this doesn't feel like scrapbooking. This feels like slapping your pictures down and having no theme, no anything. And that's not as fun for me. I want to do something creative, not just stick my pictures down. Which perhaps means I need to reconsider this whole adventure. What do you do when you got so many pictures you want to cram on a page? I kind of don't like it though, because it feels like it's too stripey. I think I'm just going to sit and stare at it for a few minutes and see if I can feel inspired. I think I definitely don't need to keep this one whole because all I care about is us. So I could cut this down to a square, and this one I can narrow a little bit. So this was 2.5 inches, and so if I do it at It can't be 2.5 because I don't want to put any of these other people. I'm just going to trim them off. So it's going to be 2.25. And then this one, take that off. I think I want to keep the little guy that's holding the banner, and I think we'll go a little bit shorter because I don't need it to be the same height as this one now. He's taller. I'll put Max up here because we love Max. But again, my problem is no room to be creative because I'm just cramming all these photos on the layout. So what do I do? What would you do? How do I make this a creative layout and not just cram all the photos on? Kind of if I put us up here and pull everything more close together, I don't mind that as much. Yeah, using just these base pages and nothing else is not, I'm not happy with that. I want to do something creative. So back to the staring at the layout for a while. And sometimes when I've done this, I've ended up cutting out like 7 or 8 minutes. So I will try to make a note of how long I sit here until inspiration strikes me, smacks me over the head, or whatever it's gonna do. I don't want to be moving too much around while I'm off camera, but all right, this isn't it. But let me sit and think. All right, what if I don't do this? What if I don't use this background? If I use, I don't want to use white, but my brain is maybe saying I use white. And I make some kind of wide stripes in primary colors, and I feel like I want to round the corners of them. One of the things I did try to do when I cut them was to cut them on one of the, like the 1/4 inch measurements so that I have pieces that are the same width. Right, so little stitch is the biggest one. Marie, I could trim that one down a little bit. Then I could just do, let's see if I can do, like this would have to cross over to 2 banners. And I put this up here, and I do stitch as a little banner, and these 2 as a little banner, and then these. I don't know if I could cut this down enough. These 2 are the same width. All right, we could maybe do varying widths of colored stripes. I think it's going to be tricky. But I think that's maybe what I want to do, is some stripes, and I'll just have to decide which stripes go where. Oh, it's coming together. I can trim her skirt off a little bit. She doesn't have to have her whole skirt on there. This one, I guess, could go across, and that one I want by itself. Look at that. I made them all fit. I made them all fit, but I'm going to do the stripes. I want me to be up here somewhere. I don't know where that one's going to be. I want to tuck this little one, a little hidden Mickey. Okay, so do we do rainbow colors? Do we do assorted colors? Do we do adventure friends colors? This summer one is kind of throwing me off. The colors are right. And I will just make sure that these are all being the same width. This one is, I don't want to cut them yet till I know exactly what I'm doing, but I think that's what we're going to do. We're going to do stripes. This is going to be a stripe right here, and then this is going to cross that stripe. This will be a stripe, that'll be a stripe, that'll be a stripe. I'm going to have to narrow them down just a smidge to give me the spacing of the stripes. This side looks like it's going to work a little bit better. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 stripes. Maybe I do still use this paper and still do the ombre, but put it on something else. Put it on the white. I'm not loving this part right here with Michelle by herself. I kind of maybe want her down here. I think I'm going to pull out some of my, like the rainbow ones that we've had where, you know, maybe totally tonal, but Botanical Bliss or Rainbow Rush. Oh, Rainbow Rush might be perfect, actually. Let me pull those out. All right, so here's my little pod that has all these different, the mix and match are kind of the primary colors. I think I need to take these guys off this ombre, and I'm just gonna put them on white. This is actually the bright white cardstock. I don't know that I can really tell the difference between the bright white and the regular white, but it was the one I found first. It's a lot more boring without the colored background for sure. And it feels a lot more like the Festival of Fantasy. You know, what if I just took this paper and trimmed it down and just cut it into stripes and left a little white space in between? I'd still have to use both pieces. That would be fast. I mean, because I'm liking the colors. The colors are working. I just feel like it was boring. But if I cut this into 1 3/4 inch stripes, that's going to leave me, it's because, you know, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. If I come into 1 3/4, I don't know how much that leaves off. 6, it leaves an 1.5 inches off the end, so I still get that. I think I want to try that. That's not where I thought I was going. I thought I was going to pull out this Rainbow Rush paper, which, you know, has these great bold colors in it. And maybe I still will. But now that I've got this paper, I think I want to try, I'm going to cut a 1/2 inch off this direction. And then I'm going to cut this. It feels like the yellow is a little bit wider than the orange. So I'm going to cut this at 1 3/4, which is the end, the outside line on this side. Oh, it's a little scary. I need to make sure that I keep them in order. So if I take this paper now and I put these, I am intrigued right now by the idea of wide stripes. I've started a Pinterest board called Scrapbook Wide Stripes. And I And I don't know why, but I'm liking the way it, I don't know, I like the stripiness of it. Okay, so now I have this, and I could, you know, I could still go back and do this with rainbow colors, but maybe I don't need to. And I put these. These don't necessarily line up with the stripes. I don't know, what do you think? I mean, it's the same basic thing that I did, but somehow to me, the, okay, now it's not lining up because I'm wanting to leave that border. It's the same basic concept, but it's different. And I could probably do this with any paper that maybe was just a bit much by itself. But leave this little spacing. Do I have to trim these a little smaller so that they fit? Like I want them to fit. I don't want them to line up exactly like that. I want them to be framed a little bit by the stripes, and that means I've got to go thinner. Maybe. This one I could definitely cut these a little bit skinnier. I could even cut stitch a little skinnier if I needed to. I like it. This is like completely different than this. This gives so much interest. And what if I rounded the corners on these stripes? All right, that's what we're gonna do. I don't know where this little picture of me is gonna go. It's gonna go somewhere. I'm gonna set this one to the side so that I can kind of keep my arrangement. And then I'm gonna put these this way so that I don't forget how I had them. I think this is going to be what I want. I think I want around the corners. I don't know. I don't know why I'm in a corner rounding mood. It's a little bit smaller. But I think I do. I think I want to round the corners, and then we're gonna have to like figure out the spacing on this. It's gonna be a little bit, I guess, you know, because there's a 1/4 inch in between each, but we also need the space on the either side. So it's not quite a 1/4 inch. Okay. Oh, I don't know about the rounding the corners, you guys. What do you think? You know what? Let's try it. What's the worst that can happen? I've already had times when I finished a layout and then thought, I don't like it. And then after a while it grows on me and I think it's fine. All right, all the corners are rounded now here. And now we just have to figure out how we're going to stick this down. I mean, and I think actually, where's my ruler? And my 13-inch mat. I think we want to use the measurements on this guy. Because if we basically center each of these, that one didn't look like it didn't line up quite right. Basically center each of these on the 2-inch piece, so they're like 1/8 of an inch. That still gives us Hell no, I don't know what that does. I feel like I have to adjust the spacing, and so maybe my 13-inch mat isn't going to help me as much as I hoped it would. Because if I just center it, then there's 1/8 of an inch on either side, but that means there's only 1/8 of an inch on this side and this side, and then a bigger space in between. You know, because I would do it at that 1/8 inch. And then 1/4 inch in between. That might actually be it. Come right there. So I've got 1/8 of an inch on this outside, and then 1/4 inch in the middle, and 1/8 of an inch. I think that's, now that looks a little bit close, less than 1/8 of an inch, maybe because I wasn't straight. I think that might work. So let's get this guy straight. And actually I've got a little, my paper, I don't know, I have it in the Stampin' Storage paper shelves, and I'm not always really good at keeping it, keeping the edges from getting dinged up. Okay. So I'm going to just try and line up right, actually it's hard on this side. I'm going to do it here on the 1/8 inch line, right there and right there. And then I know that I cut a 1/2 inch off, so it should be like that. All right, and so then the next one, so this one I lined up with that 1/8 of an inch, 1 and, oh, no, yeah, so 1 7/8. So this one I'm going to line up at 2 1/8. Should I zoom down? Two and 1/8 there, and then just try to, let's see, it's not, oh look, this line right here is an 1/8 of an inch, so, or 1/4 of an inch. Okay, I think that's gonna work. And actually that's easier to do it with this line rather than trying to line it up on the, exactly on the grid, the mat grid, because, oh, now that's looking not straight right there, but this is looking not maybe straight right there. And I did not use repositionable, but even if I have to move these, I think I'm going to be okay. I just feel like I say this every time, but I feel like I don't use as much if I, I guess I could have drawn a pencil line to show me how to align these. I don't know if they're aligned on the top and bottom, actually. I guess they're okay. I don't know. Is it straight? I can't tell. That's wider than that. All right, you know, I think I'm just going to stick them down, and then we'll move them until they look even, because trying to be exact is annoying. All right, let's see here. So yeah, I guess I am just kind of trying to center them within their little 2-inch assigned spaces right here. All right, so this part is the hard part. I did rip my paper trying to move it, but But I feel like that looks pretty straight. I'm not sure about this top edge being a 1/4 inch from the top. You know, that's what I should do, is just use the 1/4 inch at the top and then kind of center it between each of these little 2-inch blocks, which I feel like I kind of did. I think that's fine. I think that's fine. I don't know that I love the spacing on the outside edges. Maybe I want to scooch them in all a little bit more. All right. Turns out that just kind of eyeballing it was easier for me than trying to measure, but I think I'm still kind of almost on where I want it to be. But I usually tend to have a pretty good eye. Okay, that one's maybe not as straight as it could have been. Yeah, because the paper's not straight. Yeah, look at that. That's pretty much spot on. So I'm going to call that good. I did, because I picked it up, the edges are being a little, wanting to curl up a little bit. So I'll just do a little dab of Repo, just right along those top edges to get them uncurled. And I'll do them out at the bottom as needed. Okay, so now we're going to have to trim these down a smidge. And it's funny because like part of me is like, I don't want to cut this foot off, but I mean, my camera easily might have cut that foot off if I would have, I'm going to cut this down a little bit too. If I would have zoomed in farther, and it would have been okay. There we go. Okay, okay, okay. All right, so this needs to be cut right about this, whatever this line is right here, which makes it at, oh, 2.5. Go figure. Oh, Marie, I hope we can cut you to 2.5. Oh, you know, I probably could have gone to 2 3/4. Dang it, that would have been okay at 2 3/4. I wonder if I can piece this back on. I think I'm going to try and piece that back on together. So this is just kind of like welding, where if you cut your picture too narrow and you want to fix it, I'm at the very tail end of my tape, so it's not cooperating very well. There at the very end. So we'll, through the magic of having another tape runner right here, I just taped it back together and you can't even tell. I'll take a piece of scrap paper. Oh, it's too short. No, it's the wrong piece. I guess I'll use this piece that I cut off. Just like when we weld, and that's just to cover up the seam. And so instead of cutting off whatever that 3/4 of an inch, I'll just cut off I'm going to cut off 1/4 of an inch to start. I'm at, well, I'm in between. I'm going to cut 3/8 of an inch off. I'm going to cut at 3 inches instead of 2.5. And I can see when I, look at the angle, I can see where that cut line is. But when I look at it straight on, you really can't see. Oh, yeah. Yeah. All right, now, Marie, can we cut you to 3? What do we have to cut off of you? Wait a second. She's already at 3. How did that happen? She's a little skinnier than 3. So we'll cut this guy down by, oh, another 1/16 of an inch. I should have checked that first to see if they were the same width. Okay, now they're the same width. Okay, I like it. Now where did I put that little tiny picture of me? that I wasn't sure what I was going to do with it. But I'm happy with this. I'm liking having some of them cross over the line and some, well, I don't know, actually, maybe I don't want any of them to be within the lines. Maybe I don't like that I did it that way. Oh well, too late. Because I'm not going to piece any more back together. And I am lining up the bottom edge, but I'm letting the top edge do its own thing. And do I need something like that goes across there? I don't know. And this also makes this about the same height as that. No, I think I want to center them on there. It does give this more of a, that piece I cut off, you know, I could have left it on now, turns out. Well, I don't know where it is. I'm sorry, Stitch. I cut your arm off for nothing. I kind of like how it overlaps, but oh well. It's that piece that I cut off. This little tiny piece right there. I don't know, what do we think? Do we like it better crossing the line or inside the line? I don't really like it inside the line. I feel like it almost sets it off too much, frames it too much, but I'm going to leave it anyway. So this one I think I'm going to center. I don't know if I'm going to use that little picture of me taking a picture. And this one. I don't want to be, I'm right here, so I don't want to be right here. I want to be somewhere else. But I don't know where that is. But I'm okay with this. I don't know how, like, it feels more crowded on this side and more spaced on that side because I overlapped and here I didn't. So part of me almost wishes that I would have, I don't know. It's going to be fine. We're going to stay in the stripes. It's going to be fine. Nobody is going to be bothered by that except me. All right, I'm going to go ahead and do the other page exactly the same way I did this one, but you guys don't need to watch because it's a little tedious to see me cutting and measuring. And I am going to use this paper to position so that I get them the same direction. And then I'll stick the pictures down and then we'll come back and figure out what happens next with the rest. You know, what embellishments, and I guess this is a title and maybe this needs to be matted in something actually. Maybe I'll scoot him up so I can put this on a mat. I think that's what I need to do. Maybe I need to mat it like on black or red or something that's going to go with this. Maybe I got something, a photo mat in Summer Break that will work for right here. Yeah, I'll think about that while I'm putting the other pieces together. All right, so I'm just going to show you that I'm going to just use this bottom piece since I already figured out the spacing more or less. I'm going to use this as my guide just by lining it up visually with these, and then hopefully yeah, hopefully it will be right and it'll be straight. Okay, so that didn't work quite as well as I had hoped. I ended up just having to pull it up and reposition it because of the curves. I think if these had been square corners, I could have lined it up exactly, but because of the curves, I couldn't. And I just put it all on here to keep it in place, but now I've scooted it all around, so we'll see. But I definitely want Michelle down here in the corner. And she looks like she's just the right width. And then I think I had this here or something, and I know these were up here. I wonder if I could even put Woody and Jessie over here. I don't know. Maybe I won't put her. These two were kind of together. Oh, I don't remember now how I had it. Darn it. Oh, I was going to cut her, wasn't I? I was going to cut her skirt a little bit. These three can come right here. Blue can be right there. Max, I think I want Max at the top though. I've got Max right here. No, he's a lot, well, I'm gonna have to trim these guys down a little bit. And maybe I do trim them so that they fit, but I think because these overlap, it makes it look a little bit heavier. So maybe I want the ones that are gonna overlap toward the center. So Jasmine and not Nala. Can't really cut this one down, and I guess I cut her a little, I guess I cut them a little bit down. Let's see if I can trim her just a smidge. All right, this is what I'm going to be doing. Thinking out loud. Can I trim her? How can I position this? 2.5. And you guys do not need to hear all that. So I'm gonna get these down, and then we'll come back and figure out the next step. All right, I got this done. I did end up cutting a couple more pictures just to fit in. Just a couple little empty spaces. I wish I had even more that I could have fit in, but I think it's gonna work. But this one, I think I do want to mat it. And I don't have any of the mats from summer break. And the only pieces I have that was like this blue with waves on it. And these are all super summery. Barefoot is better, stuff like that. Polka dots, blue. So I think I might just use black. I think that will be a good, basic black is always a, I think that's all right. And maybe I'll map Michelle's little picture in black too, because she's so cute. And I love that she went across the street and got pictures from the other angle. And if I remember right, maybe we'd seen this one before, and that's why she decided she wanted to do that. Okay, I actually really like this for matting, because I can use this, like the white, this little raised line. I put it right on the edge of the picture. Let's see how I can show you. Right on the edge of the picture. Oh, come on. How about that? See, you can scoot it over. I don't know how to show you how to do it. But I can see it from my angle. Okay, right like that. You see? So I just set the edge of the picture along this outside edge. And then when I trim, I go all the way around, and I know that my mat's going to be exactly the same all around. So I was kind of close on the two sides because I just have these little hairs, but the bottom I was off by quite a bit. I'll have to move little Jessie. don't know about that though. Now that I've got that on there, maybe I need it to be on something kind of orange, or I'm not liking it on the black. Maybe I need to round the corners of it. Let's try that first, because then I can, you know, that one will be easy. What I'm doing is I just pulled it up off the mat and rounded the photo. Sadly, you have to do them separately. And then we'll, actually it might be easier to do it this way so it doesn't get caught in the adhesive. Oh, darn it, now it came off. I was hoping that would be the fast way. Make sure those are straight. And then we'll just round these corners. I don't think this is going to be it though. I think the black isn't doing it for me. I think it needs something brighter. I mean, your eye is drawn to it for sure. But, and maybe I do need some kind of something to go along here. Some kind of a bordery thing, a border maker cartridge in a color, red, pink, something that goes along with this. Too bad I can't just do the yellow. Yeah, not the black. I'm not liking that at all. But I need something. Maybe I put something behind here. A strip of something. Maybe if it was a strip of black, I would like that better. But I cut it the wrong way. Darn it. I don't know if I want black. Let me pull out some reds. I don't know. I'm going to have to pull out some colors that are in here. All right. I pulled out this one, which is called Bright Coral. And I think this might be it. It's still in the package. It's from, oh, only from 2022. That's not that old. I don't remember. It must have been a cardstock buffet. Oh, it's just paper. It's a lightweight paper. I don't hate that, actually. So that's the coral. Then here is regular old red, which I also don't hate. I've already rounded my corners though. That kind of puts me in a bind. I think I like the coral better. But I also was looking at this and it's got some purple in it. There's not really a lot of purple in here, but this cardstock color was called Grape. And it's one of my favorite cardstock colors of all time. But I think it's the coral. And then I pulled out one called, I think this was called Sunflower. Could do that, but I think it's too yellow. So I think we're gonna do the coral. Do I leave this on the black with the black mat? But I think what I wanna do is I wanna cut a stripe that goes all the way across, but I think I'm gonna notch the ends. I don't know, maybe I'm not going to notch the ends, and maybe I'm going to take, I don't know, I kind of like the black still. I don't know, maybe I mat this in something else. Find my ruler and see what's the spacing is right here. 0, 2 and 7/8. That's an annoying number. So if I did 2.5, that's about what that was. Let's try 2.5. Do I notch the ends? I kind of was thinking I might want to do something with the border maker cartridge, but now I think I'm just going to leave this as like a solid stripe behind. What do you think? Do I notch the ends? Let's try this. It's already rounded the ends on this. I'm going to call this a scrap piece. This is not really the kind of piece I would ordinarily want to save forever. Yeah, maybe we do. Maybe we notch the ends right here. I don't know about that side. I guess I should have put some adhesive on this first. Oh no, if I'm going to notch the ends first. I do have a banner piece, but I want it a little shorter. I'll do it that way. Well, when this started, I thought, oh, it was too simple. I wasn't happy with it because it was too boring. And now I feel like I've gone a little bit too much in the other direction. Now it's taken longer than I expected. But some of that time was spent with me just kind of sitting, thinking, and trying not to say that out loud and drive you guys nuts. All right, I think I like it with the wider gap rather than trying to make this the same gap as all the other spacing. So I think we'll leave that right there. And then do we also notch the banner on this end too? And if so, do I move this little picture of Katie? Uh-oh, that's not the same height. Darn it. What did I do? 2.5 and 2 1/4. Darn it, darn it, darn it. Okay, luckily I have a whole piece of this. 2.5. Did anybody see me cutting it wrong? Was anybody at home screaming out, Nicole, stop? All right, and then just to make sure that my notch is exactly the same, I'm just going to use this as a little template. Put it on there, and then I can just follow along the edge of that piece I already cut. And that makes it the same. And I probably ought to make sure that this one is straight. Yeah, it looks pretty straight. And I do like to put the adhesive kind of with the crease side down. I don't know why. It probably doesn't matter. We're gonna have to peel up these guys again though. And I should start on this side. Yes, 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 yes. The banner makes it. All right, now we'll trim this off. I always like to trim from the back. I just feel like it's easier. I can see right where my cut line is because I've been using this mat enough that I don't need to pull out the sight lines. It's not quite. After I said that, of course, now I'm like, yeah, that's not quite where I wanted. All right, fine, we're gonna take scissors. When I do scissors, I can like rest the blade on the base cardstock. And actually, you know, if I would have known I was doing this on white, I could have just done this directly on an album page, but too late now. Above the little banner. It'll put me on the little banner. I can put this down here. Oh, maybe I like that better down there. Cut a smidge off of this though. Look, this is gonna go right here. And then I've got to cut. I think I might cut a little bit more off of this. I don't usually cut underneath where I can't see the picture, except I know what I'm doing. I mean, I know that I've got a lot of grace on this one. So that's kind of a scary thing. Have you ever cropped your photo on purpose from the back? Do I want to put mat this one on a little bit of hot pink too? I don't think I do. I think I'll just leave her down there. She'll be like a little magical surprise to find. Okay. And because I have this Adventure Friends, I need to journal. Maybe I'll journal right here on this banner and say, even though, you know, we love the parade, we were still happy to get to also see the cavalcades. And I think maybe I'll journal in brown. I don't want to do red. I don't think I want to do black. I'm going to journal in brown. Okay, for half a second, I thought I wasn't going to, I was going to have to redo this because my journaling wasn't going to fit. I just said, even though the parade was back, they were still doing cavalcades, double the fun. So I made it fit on there. It maybe needs something, like for those to line up better. But yeah, I think I'll straighten that up. That's going to be a pain. But straighten this up, and I don't know, maybe it doesn't need anything. I mean, you know, I always want to put embellishments or stickers or something fun. Ugh. There we go. Now everybody's crooked. I mean, I think I could get away with putting something on here, but since I don't have anything to put on here, really, I mean, some musical notes might be fun, but they don't really sing. I think I'm going to leave it. I think I'm going to call it good. I actually really like how I was able to take these papers, because I liked the idea of that ombre background going from the red to the yellow. But when I just had the paper, it was too boring. It was too boring. And maybe if I would have put that across, but I think by cutting it into stripes, rounding the corners and doing it like this, I still got a ton of pictures on this page. It's still pretty busy, hardly any journaling. But I think this took it from being a bunch of photos crammed on a page to something that's more of a layout, and that I could feel proud about and feel not like I just crammed a bunch of photos on a page. So we're going to call this one Adventure Cavalcade layout number 77 of our Theme Park Thursday series. And I believe that next week is the second Wednesday. I can't keep track of what day it is. Anyway, next week's the second Wednesday. So I'll be here with another edition of the Savvy Scrapbookers on Wednesday. And then I'll be back on Thursday with another edition of Theme Park Thursday. So thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you next week.